right, you can go ahead and start making your way to a seat. I will make sure I don't. This thing's tricky up here. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
We made it. It is October. It is the first day of frost, and it is so beautiful outside right now. Couldn't have asked for just a... Oh, man. And I hope this meeting wasn't a nuisance to your schedules. So thank you again for being here. As a joke. Nuisance. Media. Okay, so welcome again to the Spokane Homeless Coalition. My name is Robert. I'm your host on these meetings, and our leadership team consists of Barry up here, Mr. Cool Guy with the glasses. You probably see his name running through all the email chains. We got Julie Garcia, Rob Bryson, Christy Coleman. She's out. Christy is out here. Oh, there she is, back there. So thank you again for being out here with us. The Spokane Homeless Coalition is based off of, it's an educational platform. And so that's kind of why we're out here, is to provide education about kind of what's been going on here at Camp Hope. And each month consists of a different topic. And so today we wanted to bring people out here to engage with people, right? Again, we're about education, networking, sharing of resources, and advocacy. Real quick, can you turn to your neighbor and say, "You are valued"? You're valued. Robert, you're valued.
Robert, you're valued.
Thank you. So, as many of you know, I work, and some of you, it's so great to see so many new faces out here, but for most of you who do attend, you know I work at Providence Community Clinic right there on the corner of 2nd and Brown. And we like at Providence, I like to kind of start off each coalition meeting with a reflection. It's kind of a tradition that we have at Providence to engage in a reflection, to really set the tone of each individual meeting. And so why do we do that? It's to really foster a culture. I believe that sisters were persuaded that no one's perfect, but they have confidence in leaning on someone who is, meaning that there's no perfect pill, no perfect surgery, treatment plan, anything that's gonna that I can take that will make me live forever. Eventually, my life comes to an end. But so their mission is, as expressions of a Father's healing love, witnessed through the ministry of his Son Jesus, we are steadfast in serving all, especially those who are poor and vulnerable. I'm pretty persuaded that the part of this ministry coming from this guy mentioned in the mission, but particularly this guy who's mentioned in Providence Mission, his half-brother, James. James is an interesting guy. And he provides this fatherly perspective, but talks specifically to those who are persuaded about this guy mentioned in Providence Mission. He highlights knowledge. Knowledge about someone's circumstances is good, but it's like looking in a mirror and forgetting what you look like as soon as you step away. That's kind of why I grow out my long hair and my beard. I don't have to look in the mirror as frequently, right? You got a beard. You get it. So James gives us guidance that really pushes buttons. It's really uncomfortable. He gives this fatherly guidance, living up to the hype, how to do this, how to be doers. And a part of this is that he gives us some tips about to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Not only that, he says this. James goes in and says, anyone who sets himself up as religious by talking a good game is self-deceived. This kind of religion is hot air and only hot air. Real religion, the kind that passes the muster before God the Father, is this: reach out to the orphans and widows, meaning the loveless and the homeless. Reach out. Notice he says that reach out. In the other versions, he says go and visit. Go and visit. And that's all he says. That's the instruction, to be doers, to just go and visit, go and put yourself in around that person. I vividly remember my 7 years in hospice, and oh, how human behavior pushes vulnerability away. It's evident with the aging population, sometimes, or even our history, right? Think of our history of pushing vulnerability away. Think of the Misappropriation Act and indigenous people and pushing vulnerability population away to reservations. Or think of the entire BIPOC community deflecting that scenario because it's uncomfortable. Or think of current situations, personal ones, going through a divorce, someone experiencing psychosis, substance use. It's uncomfortable, and so we tend to push that vulnerability away. It doesn't sit well. It's uncomfortable and generally uncontrollable due to the helplessness associated with it. But I get so motivated about this kind of perspective that these Sisters of Mercy within Providence had. They had this mentality of to go. There's a proclivity that the kingdom culture will reveal itself, but under the spiritual influence, James just says, go. Just be with the people. Be with them. Nothing else. Hey, how are you? What's your name? Where are you from? That's it. It reveals itself. He reveals himself. And that's what triggers the stages of change, or growth, if that's a more comfortable word to use, but it still insinuates change. Cognitive repetition. Cognitive repetition of when you're sent to just go and be with someone, cognitive repetition of reminding them that you're valued, you're stronger than your misfortunes, you can do it, keep going, you'll get it next time, keep trying, you can do it, keep fighting, you're worth it, you're an overcomer, don't give up. Can you turn to your neighbor and say, you are valued?
Valued, Robert.
Or just say, you are real good looking. Again, thank you so much. I know each month my reflections can get a little out there. Sometimes they're short, sometimes they're sweet, sometimes they're this, sometimes they push buttons. But again, thank you so much for listening to that. If I could go ahead and get our panel members to come on up here. But first I want to, as they transition their way up here, it is a little surfy, if that's a word, surfy. I can help you up here. Those steps. And then also we have, this will be streamed and available through Spokane Community.
Facebook.com/scar/Spokane.
No second slash. One slash.
Only one slash.
One slash.
And I'm sure Barry will send out eventually on the link.
I will.
Okay. On the email chain.
Yep.
Okay. So who dare take the phone? Oh, Julie. So first we're going to start off with an announcement and update of kind of the situation here at Camp Hope. Julie's going to kick us off, and then Hallie will give us a brief description of Cat's World down here.
Okay, so we're going to start off with some announcements of what's actually going on here at Camp Hope. We'll start with one of our favorite announcements, that in the last 3 weeks we've moved 147 people off of this property and into better situations. We'd also like, as you can see, the fence has gone up. There is now privacy screening for the people living on the other side of the fence to both protect their privacy and to enforce curfew and rules associated with moving forward towards housing. One of our big announcements is a program that's going to launch on October 12th, and that is in partnership with the DOL, the DOH, and the DOR, and we call this program Identification Connection. It is overseen by a lady who has been doing this for a very long time. Those folks from the other side of the mountain, the heads of those departments, will be flying here for 4 consecutive Wednesdays. For those consecutive Wednesdays, we will be able to identify, print, and give identification to the folks at this camp. Those IDs, they'll walk in with nothing, and they'll leave with a printed copy of their temporary ID, a printed birth certificate, and a social security card that was identified and processed. This program is merely cutting down some of the barriers associated with identification. And identification for people experiencing homelessness is one of the biggest barriers that we all face. Getting all of these entities on board to work together to partnership, we will see how it works for the next 4 weeks. And if it works well here, we can navigate that outside of Camp Hope. So this will be a bigger program for all of Spokane to utilize.
Thank you, Julie. Hallie, what's going on? What's new?
Hi, everyone. So I wasn't expecting a crowd this size, so I'm a little bit nervous. I want to share with you the work that we are doing down here at Camp Hope. We're not the only agency down here working. We are here with Jules Helping Hands and Revive. And then there's multiple other agencies within our community that come down here as well to assist and collaborate in helping the folks here. So I think it's really important to recognize that this is a very collaborative approach, and I think that's an important piece of the work that we're doing. So one of the things, what brought Kat here is that our mission is to remove barriers to care. And when you think about care, that's not, care is everything. So the folks here obviously need housing, so that's a priority number 1 goal, but there's a lot of things in the way of achieving that housing. So we have certified peer counselors here. Those are people with lived experience, with recovery, with homelessness, with recovery from mental health and substance use disorders. And they are here partnering with individuals in Camp Hope and then helping them identify their primary goals and needs, and then navigating them forward to achieve those goals, whether that be finding a primary care provider so that their health is taken care of, getting in for a mental health assessment, accessing SSI if they have disabilities, which is very common within folks experiencing homelessness. Our systems are currently function that a lot of folks with high needs end up out here homeless. I'm formerly homeless myself, so I'm speaking from a space of experience as well. And so that's our primary goal here, is partnering with each individual. They're driving the car, we are the co-passenger, and just helping attain those goals, stabilize. We'll work with each person until housed, and then beyond housed until stably housed. So it's working on learning how to be housed, learning all the different things that comes with that process. And I think that's the important stuff.
Yes, thank you very much. And you can go ahead and we will start. All I want you to do at this point is just hold the mic close to your mouth and go, hey, my name is...
My name is Robert Moody.
And hand that mic down the line.
My name's Chris Sen.
My name is Heather Morris.
My name is Lydia Ciccarelli.
My name is Cheryl Brown.
My name is Lakota Rangel.
And Lakota, can we go back down the line again, since we only have Mike and I'm hogging this one, and say what you do and where you're from, and yeah, just a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a peer support at Compassionate Addiction Treatment. I'm also a care navigator for Hub and Spoke. I provide connectivity for anybody really that's involved in what we got going on here, getting them to their appointments, even taking them home sometimes if they don't have bus passes, all sorts of connective stuff. Just getting somebody somewhere, because carrying 80 pounds worth of suitcase is a lot to carry. So that's what I do.
Next one.
I am a peer navigator with Jules Helping Hands. I am new to this. It's been about 3 to 4 weeks. What we do is we help the campers navigate the system any way possible. Whatever it is they need, we're there to help them. I think the biggest thing that we provide is love and hope, because I don't want to cry. I'm really nervous. I come from addiction and homelessness myself. I've experienced the darkness, and I know what it's like to feel like you have nothing, no hope. Like, why even try? Life's not even worth it. I might as well go hide in a corner, because everybody turns their head when they look at you, because society doesn't love these people that need love and support and hope. And although we're providing the services to help them get to the next step, we're also providing the hope to encourage them to take those steps.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm also very nervous. Sorry.
You can do it.
So I am a FCS specialist with Revive. We work with people on any barriers that they have to housing, right? So everyone, it doesn't matter, you know, what the barriers are. We help work through it. Just like Cheryl said, one of the biggest parts of my job is meeting people, building trust, and letting them know that somebody is there and in their corner. I also have experience with addiction and homelessness. I ended up out on the streets from 12 to 20. And you know, the biggest thing that I needed was somebody there. Everybody needs somebody, right? So we do the housing thing, you know, but the biggest part here is meeting people and getting to know them. There is amazing people out here, you guys, and the stories are just incredible. And everybody needs somebody in their corner. That was my biggest need when I was out there. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good job.
I am part of the security team here, and I'm also a resident.
Awesome.
I'm also part of the security team. I also help with the day-to-day running of the camp. I'm a resident.
Thank you.
Pretty much run the camp, head of security when Jules and everybody's not here. And listen, okay, there's a lot of people out here. Don't embarrass me.
Don't embarrass me.
But yeah, my main role is head of security, maintaining everybody's safety. I was a resident down here, but as of today, I'm no longer a resident. I'm back home with my wife and son. And none of it would be possible without Julie and Ken. Jules Helping Hands seen something in me, gave me an opportunity, and I'm employed with Jules Helping Hands, and it's one of the best things that could have happened to me being out here, being homeless. One of my biggest barriers was work, and not having either enough experience or not enough work history, whatever the case may be. And now I'm doing something that I absolutely love, helping people in everything. There's always something out here that's stopping us, but we're really not that bad of people.
And what was your name again?
Robert Moody.
Robert. I should remember that. Wow. Robert, let's send the mic back this way. But first, I want to hear from you. What does Camp Hope? What does it mean to you? What does Camp Hope mean to you?
I mean, in all honesty, it says it right in its name, Camp Hope. There's hope for everybody out here, regardless of what everybody thinks and what the media labels us. And the thing about homeless is we're stereotyped. You think homeless, instantly it's a drug addict, a criminal, and everything else. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. Not everybody out here is a criminal. Not everybody out here is a drug addict. We've got a lot of people out here that have full-time jobs. There's people out here that have gotten in recovery because of being in this situation. Me, myself, I came back from Denver, Colorado. I came down here just to check on my dad because this is where I dropped him off at when I got back. And I ended up staying down here and stepping up to the plate. And we're not just a homeless camp, we're a family. Like, everybody helps each other out here. And yeah, we have our problems within the camp, but they're addressed accordingly. Whether it be from one of the businesses around here that let me know that somebody's done something, it's addressed. Everybody in here has a story, and a lot of people just want their story heard. And so, again, I mean, Camp Hope, there's hope for everybody, regardless of what anybody thinks.
Thank you, Robert. Bring it on down the line. And what was your name again?
My name is Chris.
Chris.
Man, what does Camp Hope mean to me? It's just like Robert said, it's hope. I came here roughly 7 months ago, something like that. Pretty much gave up on myself, gave up on life. And I've met some of the most amazing people here. I'm an Army veteran and have a veteran family, and I feel that close with a lot of these people here. And like Robert was saying, the media kind of shuns us, people in the neighborhoods do. Sorry. And it's hard. I mean, I don't have a horrible story of life growing up. I was adopted at birth, have a great family. Lost one of them recently, kind of hard to talk about, but so I don't come from one of them horror stories of an alcoholic, abusive family and all that. I come from money. My family owns several businesses here in town, yet I found myself here. And Jules and Ken and even Robert here, and they've given me a chance. I've got new friends. It just means a lot to me.
What do you hope for Camp Hope, Chris?
I hope it helps a lot of people, to be honest with you. I get it. Everybody, there's, like Robert was saying, there's just a bunch of drug addict thieves in this place. There are. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but there is roughly 600 amazing people in this camp that just need somebody to listen to them and realize they're as human as any one of us. We're all human. I don't feel that anybody is better than anybody else, But I just hope good things for this camp.
Thank you, Chris. Oh, yeah, Hallie. Thank you for your service. Definitely. And what was your name again?
Heather.
Heather.
Yes.
Heather. Heather. I gotta remember these names. Okay. I'm so bad with names. Heather, what does Camp Hope mean to you?
The first word that comes to my brain is stability, honestly. It, I don't know how to...
You can do it.
It means a lot more to me than I ever thought it would, honestly. I have met a lot of amazing people here, and a lot of people that I will carry on with me after I leave here, or hope that, vice versa. Sorry, I'm really nervous. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's normal.
Doing good?
Nerves are normal. Nervous Nancy, but your name is Heather.
Yes. This place has taught me a lot about myself, actually, and I feel like Chris, I didn't grow up in a horrible childhood. I had a really great childhood, and I kind of went a little slightly different direction when I grew up, but I was addicted, and this isn't the first time I've been homeless either, but this is the first time that I've been homeless enough to be in a tent city. And it was very eye-opening a little bit, and it's first I was scared, but I love it. I love the people here. I love working on security, and I feel like I now have now I have hope, honestly.
What's your favorite part about Camp Hope?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Everybody.
And what do you hope for Camp Hope?
Man, I hope that we're not here soon. You know, I hope that we all get to move forward, you know, in our lives, and I hope to see everybody else outside of camp, you know, and not here, and you know, in the spot. That's what.
Thank you so much, Heather. You're very brave.
Thank you, Heather. Yeah.
Lydia, what does Camp Hope mean to you? You got this.
So I've been working down here fairly consistently since July, and what I see is a community. I'll walk through and, you know, see people helping each other out and, you know, talking and laughing, and I just see a community. Obviously there's issues just like everywhere, right? But it's incredible, you know, how the staff will, you know, interact with people, how the people interact with each other. I wish that when I was homeless, I wish that I had something like this where providers could, you know, come and assess needs and, you know, help crush goals in whatever way that that people want to do it. It took me a really long time to figure things out by myself, and I didn't have anybody. I didn't have a community. I was alone, and I don't know, it means a lot to see people working together in a community. It's incredible to watch the people down here and hearing stories, and you know, just there's some incredible people down here. Everybody down here has an incredible story, you know, and they're all survivors, and it's pretty cool to see right now.
And what do you hope for Camp Hope, Lydia?
I hope that, you know, people can get the support they need to get to wherever their better place is. I hope that everybody can see what their like what they can do, right? Yeah, their own potential. Thank you. I forgot the word. But I hope that everybody can see their potential and just, you know, get to where their happy ending is. You know, it looks different for all different people. But I just hope that can stay a community regardless of which way people decide to go.
Thank you so much, Lydia. What's going on? What does Camp Hope mean to you?
Everything Lydia said. Camp Hope means love, trust, empathy, compassion, community. I love that everybody has a sense of stability here. I love that when people's family members are looking for them, they just come to the tent and I'm like, oh yeah, I can go find them for you. Such as this morning, somebody was telling, they showed up looking for their daughter and they're like, before Camp Hope, I would have to go all over town looking for her. I want to tell her I have a trailer. They told me her name and I knew right where to go, you know, to connect her with her family. And could you only imagine if she was out there anywhere in the community and they'd spend weeks looking for her and then lose that opportunity? So we're providing the opportunity for people to get their needs met here, you know? It's so amazing out here. I come from I'm actually an addiction counselor, and I felt really crazy when one day I was like, God told me I need to be at Camp Hope. But that's how much it means to me that I said, maybe my career isn't the career for me. I know where I belong right now. And that's how much love is out here. I just need to be here.
And what does Camp Hope represent to you?
Community. I think that I'm very hopeful that the community will start to see what is going on out here. And I'm hopeful that we can impact other people to open their mind to actually listen to their amazing stories and see what amazing individuals we have out here and see like the hurt and the pain that not only have they experienced, but that people's hurtful words are causing to them on top of their trauma they're already experiencing.
Thank you so much. And what does Camp Hope mean to you?
So to me, like Robert said, people trying to be heard and seen. I see Camp Hope as like a really beautiful protest, because if like the systems were perfect, if they were working before, we wouldn't be here, right? Like we wouldn't have all this if things were working in the beginning. So I see this as people trying to be seen and heard. And what I hope for Camp Hope is that we don't lose the momentum and that we can just keep going, and then people get out of our way and let us do our jobs. I'm talking to you, Wade Nelson. Thank you. So that's what I see.
Awesome. And can you send the mic back down to Robert? Robert, what do you see as like the biggest need down here at Camp Hope? And what's kind of, so there's two questions here. What do you think is the biggest need aside from housing, right? But then what makes this different than a shelter?
Well, as far as what the needs are down here, I think I said it in the first question, and that's just to be heard. I think everybody out here just wants to be heard, whether their story be told or whatever the case may be. I think everybody out here is the same way, and they just want to be heard. Because with the statistics of the homeless, not only in Washington, but all over the United States, it's like out of sight, out of mind. Let's push them out of the way so we don't have to worry about them no more. And that's one of the things I feel that this place is doing, is putting the homeless on the map to say, hey, you guys really need to start doing something about the homeless population, because they're not all bad people. And I mean, I've felt that way since I was started being homeless in Denver, Colorado. You know, it's living in a Ford Ranger with 5 people. It kind of sucks. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest need, is just people the community, especially. We got a lot of bad news coverage in media. It's a lot of people call this Camp Dope. Well, the funny thing is I walk around on a daily basis and I probably snatch up probably 50, 60 foils out of people's hands because they're outside doing it. And we don't tolerate that. I see outside doing anything that's, I don't care what it is. It's got to be, we don't want to see it, period.
And why do you think the preference is to camp versus staying in? Because we have shelter systems in the community. So why do you think the preference is to be outside and camping?
It's not necessarily being outside. It's the fact that each and every one of us have our own door to shut. We're able to go into our own area in a shelter. You're all in one little room, or you got 3 or 4 people in a combined area. I know for myself, if I wanted to do that, I'd go back to prison, because I mean that's pretty much what it feels like in a shelter a lot of times.
Heather, I see you shaking your head. You want to add to that?
No, yeah, he's definitely right. Yeah, shelters, they do. They stick you in rooms, you know, like me, I'm a single, you know, woman, and I'm not married, you know, and so I would be stuck with 3 or 4 other women in a tiny little room with nothing, with absolutely nothing but a purse and maybe a bag or 2 of clothes, if that even, you know, because when the shelters, or during the day, most shelters are, closed, they kick you out during the day. And so you have no stability at all. And you're just always moved, you know, from one spot to another because they don't like you there, you know, because being stereotyped, honestly, you know, and oh, I lost my train of thought.
No, that's fine. Chris, what about you? What do you think makes camping out here different than staying in a shelter?
I don't know how I can answer. I've never been in a shelter. It's the first time I've ever been homeless and in this kind of situation. Speaking on why I like it here, like Robert was saying, we've got essentially our own door to shut. We've all either got a tent or a trailer. It's your own space. I can't speak on shelter life. I haven't been in a shelter. I can only go by what I've heard from my friends here. And shelter life just doesn't sound appealing to me. You know, and there's no safety. There's no separation from you and your neighbor, so to speak. You know, like they were saying, there's several of you in one small area. Not that I mind. In basic training, it's just like being in barracks, which was fine for the military way of life, but that doesn't work in this situation.
Robert, you touched on this briefly on accountability, right? Snatching stuff up, you know, wouldn't be tolerated. What is that? Like, what does accountability mean to, I guess, maybe your perception of what the community thinks of that? What does that accountability word mean? Is it self-accountability? Is it a community, like adopting?
It's kind of, everybody holds everybody accountable, not just they're self-accountable. Like I've told people, if you see people smoking dope outside their tent or out in the open, take it from them. I don't care. They get mad, they can come talk to me about it. It's just that simple. I've had to, over the last, especially the last few months, I've had to be held accountable for a lot of things that I've done. And just not too long ago, there was an altercation with me and another resident. And being in the position I hold here, I should have done things a little bit different, and I didn't. And I realized that after it was all done. And so the next day, when Julie came in, I explained to her, and I was like, I apologize. I should have been more professional about the situation when I wasn't. And I even had some of my team come up to me, and they're like, man, you should have done that a little bit different. And I agreed with them. We all got to hold each other accountable here, especially with the fact that 90% of the community out here thinks that because of Camp Hope, their crime rates increased. Well, I know from experience and from being on that side of the fence, there's crime everywhere you go. Yeah, it might have increased a little bit since we've been here, but with that being said, we've went and told all the businesses that if there's video footage or anything like that, bring it to us, and we'll take it right to the people. Why? Because we're going to hold them accountable for what they did. It's the only way people are going to learn. There's a lot of people out here that don't understand that, because this is the only thing they've all ever done or known, so they don't know how to live a productive, normal life.
Yes. And Lydia, what does accountability look like as far as a service provider perspective? Like, what is that? How do you, when you were working case managing, helping people, you know, transition to their best self, what does that accountability look like as far as the service you provide?
I'm not really understanding the question.
Like on your day-to-day, like how do you kind of hold people accountable for working with you? Right. Sometimes there's expectations that you expect them to meet some portion of the work versus, you know, you not doing all the work for them. So where's that gray area as far as what type of expectations do you have on the people that you work with here?
I honestly don't know really how to answer that, because I operate in a person-centered way, you know what I mean? I do not, I don't expect people to do anything. They're on their own journey. I mean, if they don't want to do the work that is required for their goal at this time, we can try again later. This is not about me, this is about them. So I don't have expectations of people. You know, sometimes there's setbacks and that's okay, but we just, you know, we keep trying. We hold the hope for them, you know what I mean? We believe that they can do whatever, you know, whatever they want to do. It's expectations have no place in my job, because we focus on the people and what they want and need.
Cheryl, it seems like you want to add to that.
No, I love what she said. It was perfect, spot on. And I fully believe that accountability is a learned behavior, you know. Coming from addiction for years myself, I had no accountability. And if somebody expected me to be accountable, I would not engage, period. I mean, I've learned it and now I'm super accountable, you know. But it's a learned behavior and we have to meet people right where they're at.
And how do you learn that? How do you push for that as service providers?
Just holding out hope and reminding them that tomorrow's another day and trying again. And we just keep trying again and trying again. The one thing we don't do is give up.
Coda?
What am I answering?
I don't know. No, you know, going off of what they're saying, when you're working with someone, what does that look like working with someone on the day-to-day and meeting them where they're at and having no real expectations, but kind of your approach as far as working with someone and getting them through whatever they're wrestling with or whatever goals? Like, how do you establish goals with someone who's camping out?
All I can really say is that I don't put expectations on people because they don't work for me, I work for them. So I don't know how I would establish goals. I'm just there for whenever somebody comes and they're ready to make some changes, then I'm ready to like walk with them, and that's what I do. I don't have like I don't put extra shit on people because they've already got enough, and then how many people have the resources to make their appointments or get to that form and fill that form out over across town while they're carrying suitcases? Like, that's just unrealistic, and it's just not going to happen.
Chris, do you have any expectations for the people that work with you as far as service providers?
The only expectation I have is that they give us a chance, you know, just be there for us, hear us out. If we need help with something, help us. Where I have expectations, how do I word this? I'm horrible at wording stuff. Can I go off
Me
just
too.
a little? So I'm an Army veteran. I'm sure there's other veterans out here. Where I have the issue with is the media and other places. When you guys talk about homeless, I never hear anybody talk about the military, the homeless veterans. There's thousands of us out here that are homeless, and I never hear anything about it. It really hurts. You know, I think it's like 2.3% of the population is veterans. We woke up one day and we're willing to sign that check that's our life. For everyone, I would die for any one of you standing here. I love you all. I don't even know you, but I would literally die for any one of you, and I was willing to for 15 years of my life. And the city council just, you know, media kind of push. You never hear them. Well, let's try to help veterans. There's just no help, and that just it hurts. You know, for me it hurts because I was willing to give up everything and sacrifice it all. I did. I missed out on a lot of my daughter's childhood, and she hated me for years because of it, because I was always gone. So, sorry.
No, that's perfect.
So yeah, I'd like to see some more help for the veterans.
Robert, do you have expectations on the people that you continue to work with and have worked with? Like, is there any expectations you have on the service providers?
you know, when I was in prison, I had somebody come up to me and they said, "Listen, man, if you don't expect expectations, then you're never let down." So I really don't set any expectations for anybody because, well, then I don't have to worry about being let down. Because if you set it too high and it's not met, then you get mad or upset or whatever the case may be. And if you set it too low and they overachieve it, then you're like, well, that was kind of crazy. And okay, so I always expect the unexpected. But I would expect that they listen to me and help in the ways that I need help. When I was younger, I had service providers, counselors, everything. They were trying to tell me that it was this person's fault or that person's fault or even my own fault that I was going through the things I was going through. And in reality, it was nobody's fault. It was just things that I had to learn how to deal with. And I didn't really have a chance to deal with those things until I went to prison. And I got sober for 3.5 years that I was locked up. And when you're an active user or an addiction, you're usually trying to cover something up. And I was covering a lot of things up. And those things had to come to light when I got sober. And I refused to take medications because I self-medicated for so long that I won't take medications. It's stuff that I've got to deal with. As far as, like I said, with the expectations, I don't set expectations, so I'm never let down. I've been let down so much in my life that I just get tired of it. So, I mean, as long as they're treating me with the respect that I'm treating them with, that's really the only expectation I have is just show me the respect I give you. If I don't give you no respect, then don't respect me. It's just pretty much that simple with me. I'm an easy guy when it comes to it, really.
Yeah, seem pretty chill.
Yeah.
Hallie, what's your hope for Camp Hope?
My hope for Camp Hope? Boy.
And bring that closer to the...
Is that better?
That's better.
Okay. Honestly, my hope for Camp Hope is that the community that's happening here on WSDOT property be embraced as part of our larger community. And the reason I say that is right now as a service provider, we're working with people. We're bringing on, each of our peer counselors has a caseload, and we're able to come here and find the folks we're working with and keep doing the work. And so my hope is that we're empowered to continue to do this. If the camp were broken up, it's going to slow the process with each and every individual so significantly. You know, if someone's name comes up for supported housing, you only have a certain amount of time to find that person, and then their name is gone and someone else's comes up. So that's my hope for Camp Hope, is that as service providers, as people with lived experience, as the people who are staying here, that we're all empowered to keep doing this journey to work through the ultimate goal, which is housing options that are appropriate for each and every individual, and the opportunity to stabilize and build the life that each person dreams of, just as I've had the opportunity to do. That's my hope.
Julie, so you've been doing this since I've known you.
A long time.
What do you think, and you've kind of had a chance to establish and be an observer of behaviors and lifestyle and kind of a witness to what the body can endure, right? The body, the mind, what the mind can endure. What do you think is the biggest service that's needed out here in the field?
This right here. This is what's needed in this community. There are a lot of bridges burned on both ends, both from people experiencing homelessness and from people not experiencing homelessness. And that's my hope for Camp Hope, is that through all of this, that we're able to build bridges and the train. We're able to build bridges so that people experiencing homelessness don't have to suffer the way that they do. There's zero reason for all these barriers that we have in place that keep these folks in this kind of situation. There's no need for them. It's not necessary. It literally is us putting barriers on them. If we can break down those barriers, when we break down barriers, we build bridges. And when we build bridges, we build community. And when we build community, we become healthy. And this is a holistic approach to everything. For everybody who sees this, when I see Camp Hope, I see something different than most people speak about and talk about. I don't see this eyesore. I see 600-ish people working together to create something better. And through that, and with the publicity of this, and with it being so out there in the media, I hope that each and every one of you who call Spokane your home, this is my home, I love this city, I want it to be well. And this isn't well right now. There's zero reason for Camp Hope to exist. We should, for every individual, regardless of situation and circumstance, housing and basic needs is necessary. It should be for you and for me. And what I hope for Camp Hope is the same thing that I hope for myself, and that I hope for him and her and them and the people that are mean and call names and every single other person, for you to be well, whatever that looks like. Housing isn't the trajectory for everybody. Not everybody's there yet. But can we as a community come together to provide solutions? Because the only way for this to get better, for this not to be the only option, is for us all to sit down and bring whatever we do to solving this. Not our dislikes and our opinions, but literally whatever you can do. Dan, what can you do? What can you do, Ellie? What can you do, ma'am? Any part of that that makes this better and helps these folks end their cycle of homelessness, that's what I hope for Camp Hope.
Hallie. This will be the last portion, and then we'll open up for questions. Barry will be the mic runner. But yes, go ahead, Hallie.
I just wanted to share, as Julie was talking, what really hit me is that when you're looking at homelessness and you're trying to identify what is Camp Hope, why did it happen, how to end up here, we're really talking about intersectionality, how multiple different aspects of a person's life circumstances has impacted and brought them to where they're at today. And I think that we as a community, if we can look at it through that lens and understand that there are layered, varied stories that have brought people here, we can humanize. And I think that's really, we're so impacted by media stories and politics and the way politics interacts with homelessness. And if we can step back away from that and just look at each individual and, take a moment to imagine all the varied aspects that person might be carrying that brought them to where they're at today, I think that it empowers us all to come together and work as a community. So intersectionality is really a huge aspect of homelessness.
Thank you very much. All right. Any questions out there? Be brave. Be brave. Right there in the back.
Right next to you.
How's it going? My name's Will. I got a question. I used to ride through this neighborhood for many years. This is always a vacant lot. And now we got lots of people living here. And as a veteran, I mean, there is help. There's the VA has there's help. So I heard your story, and I hope you reach out to them. But one thing I've been wondering is, you're doing all this, is what's going to happen here next month when it starts snowing and it gets cold. I've been going to city council meetings since 2019, since Jules Helping Hands got that contract for the Cannon Street warming shelter. I don't even hear nothing about that, just putting up a fence. I mean, I don't see that really helping, honestly. I mean, because now, I mean, it just hurts me seeing people living like this. And I wish Bingo and Betsy and these people see that there's people out here suffering. And also, as a veteran, I suffered homelessness. I lived in somebody's garage. One of the people that helps Jules Helping Hands, she knows me, and she's known me for years, and she was also homeless. But this person that helped us is also dead because of fentanyl. So that's the other thing. I live downtown. I see, I mean, the list goes on, but thank you for doing what you're doing, and hopefully they do something more, because it's going to get cold and snowy soon.
And so it sounds like the question is, are you willing to endure the elements coming up versus going into a shelter space?
Yes, as a matter of fact. I've been here since about mid-February. Actually, it was still really cold when I got here. And if it was here or the shelter, I would still choose here. You know, because of you know, the things I've talked about before, you know, we're starting in here, but it's still my own space, you know, and it's going to be cold, yeah, but I don't know, that's just, yeah.
I absolutely will stay here. From what I understand, there's no shelter space anyway. Where do I go? You know, go sleep on the sidewalk where I've got nothing covering me? At least here, I've got my tent. You know, I'm set up. I'm ready for winter. I've got my heater. I've got good clothes. I'm ready for it. But I'm sure we can utilize this big tent that's behind you guys. It's kind of a warming area, I'm assuming. So I'm ready for it.
So the folks at Camp Hope, they have an opportunity to go anywhere. We will move them around from any space that they so choose to go to. But in all reality, and we all are aware of this, no matter how we structure it, the only way to solve homelessness is homes. Not shelters, not anything else, and that's not saying that those things are not needed. But what we have to focus on in our community is how do we provide homes, and what do homes look like to the people experiencing homelessness? Are they there? Are they ready? Is this their trajectory? And the more we force people to do anything instead of making them stakeholders in their own existence, that's why people always talk about accountability. We don't need to hold them accountable. I hold myself accountable. They need to hold themselves accountable. My job is to open up doors for them to end their cycle of homelessness, and the only way to end homelessness is housing.
Oh, we got, I don't know. We are, yes. Oh, right here, we got the mic.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, and I work on a committee that is working on homelessness. So I have two things. One is a whole bunch of negative news about what's happening out here, and how do we combat that, especially when I try to talk to somebody and say, no, you don't really have the picture right, but you know, that's what they're hearing in the media. And second, I heard Ben Stuckert and Gavin Cooley speaking the other day talking about Houston and Atlanta and how they have totally slashed the number of homelessness people there because they have a plan. And how do we get our own community to agree to that, to a plan that actually is going to work, that is going to pull us all together and move us in the same direction?
So it sounds like, what was the question? Sounded like more of a statement. How are we going to make a difference? Yeah. So, yes, I think the biggest way, and I'm sorry, I wish I could answer more questions and give the mic around, but I want to be respectful. We try to emphasize that with the coalition, is always be respectful of everyone's time is precious. And so, yes, I think one of the main primary reasons why we're all here is for that change, or else we wouldn't be here right now and be with valuing human relationship and interaction with each other. But again, it is the end of, usually we have like music and stuff that we can transition off into. But thank you so much for your time and being here. And again, thank you to our panel members for being so brave, and being in front of so many people can be very intimidating. So thank you guys so much for being here. We will be providing some for our campers. If you're interested and you're not having a good day, grab a cookie. We've got cookies back there in the tent, or you can give a cookie out to someone as well. But for the folks who are going to be serving and volunteering to help with dishing people out lunch, you're going to want to connect with Cheryl. She's going to get you going in there, and she just found out now. Thank you, Cheryl. All right, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you, Robert.